No.
No.
No, I have not.
Probably not.
Yes, I have.
On November 22nd, 1890, the Lewis and Auburn Horse Railroad Company leased a small island behind the Androscoggin Falls. It was called Fox Island, and it was covered in weed and brush, and seemingly a boring, bland island. But these people had a vision for this island, to make it a place of entertainment. A man named E.O. Wells built a bridge to the island from Lewiston, which was how you would get there. They also built theaters and a stage. The Island Garden finally opened on July 1st, 1891. It was open on the weekdays, too, because at the time Island Garden was popular, many people didn't work a full 5 days a week, so they were looking for entertainment more often. Therefore, more visits to the Island Garden on weekdays. The islands started with live bands and electric lights to make the island look inviting. Plus, it was only 10 cents to get in. The island soon became very popular, but why would people go there? Well, here's a list of attractions at the Island Garden. Theater that could fit 200 people, animals, food and picnics, boating, swimming, fireworks, orchestra. There's dancing every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, croquet, band, concerts every night where the manager would arrange a variety of bands to play, and just relaxing in general. Performances were one of the main attractions at the Island Garden. At some shows, over 3,000 people would show up. The theater is also free. Here is a short, summed-up list of some performances. Keating and Kennedy, which was one of the crowd's favorite performers. The sweet singer from Boston, Maggie Bennett, was in it. It was a huge hit. Wilson Barrett's melodrama, The Silver King. Helen St. Clair was considered to be one of the best singers to perform at Island Garden, and she performed in A Servant's Troubles. Baby Lou, who was a great child artist. Monte Cristo, which was a spin-off of a French play called Harry Knight. One of the funniest productions at Island Garden is considered to be Lend Me Your Wife by Roland Reed. There were many people who would perform there more than once, including a man named John Libby. The parlor theater was used for more than just plays and performances. They would have dancing every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. The manager of the island, Manager Washburn, would arrange a variety of bands to play every night. Another attraction at the Island Garden was the animals. They had a small zoo where they would have chicken coops, foxes, and any other animal native to Maine. Their main animal, however, was a horse. His name was Linus the Flaxen-haired. Its golden mane was 14 feet long, and the matching tail was 12 feet and 3 inches long. Where did it get its name? Linus means flaxen-haired in Greek. Unfortunately, on May 22nd, 1899, the Island Garden was burnt down in a fire. The bridge to the islands was moved to Freeport in 1903. The source of the fire is to this day a mystery, but many people suspect that it was due to the Lewis and Auburn Horse Railroad Company debt or unable to pay for the island anymore. Nobody bought the island afterward, and to this day, the island is dead and unoccupied. In an article published in a Lewiston Evening Journal, people talked about their experiences at Island Garden. Dr. Wallace Weber, a physician, danced there. Selden T. Crafts, a music professor at Bates, played in the orchestra. Miss Margaret Malloy never missed a performance there and loved the theater. Herbert Whitney had fun with his friends on the suspension break. In another article published later by the Lewiston Evening Journal, some people were confused about what the parlor theater was. Here's some of the story. A man named Lawrence Pride was confused on what it was and what it used to be. He intended to use it as a meeting space, and he was confused because theaters were once a big part of Lewiston, but the parlor is rarely mentioned in local history.
I didn't really know anything about that theater. It's been used as a dye house for many, many years. It's full of machinery.
He later found out that it was an opera house and it could sit over 300 people. Entertainment was live here. Many famous shows were performed, including P.T. Barnum, Ringling Brothers, and the Wild West show of Buffalo Bill Cody.
This opera house was built at the same time that the whole area was related to this park. You really have to be looking to recognize the whole opera house facade now.
So, what if the Island Garden still existed? Well, it probably would have evolved over time. Maybe the parlor theater would have turned into a movie theater and the zoo would acquire more animals. The Lewis and Auburn Horse Railroad Company would have gone out of business as cars and more modern transportation being created and used more. This is because this company manufactured trains and horse carriages. And if people weren't using them anymore, then they would go out of business. Some of these new things being created were cars and even planes. This would probably lead to the Island Garden being sold, and whoever they sold it to could have put the Island Garden out of business and used the island as something else. My guess is that this would happen around the 1920s or 30s, for that was when cars became a more common form of transportation. The Lake Auburn Spring House was an enlargement of a smaller hotel. The renovation took place sometime in 1889, and it only took $25,000 to build. The final product was 5 stories high. It was owned by the Lake Auburn Spring Company and was located on the western shores of Lake Auburn. The cost was only $1.25 to stay for a night in one of their 140 rooms, which was cheap even for its time. The hotel was open every year from June to October, and it was considered one of the finest resorts in New England. The hotel was very grand, and there was a large pavilion and large dining room that looked out onto the lake. There were many things at the hotel and nearby that made a huge attraction in Auburn. Here are some of the main things. The hotel was right next to the lake, therefore there was boating and fishing, bowling alleys nearby, croquet, beautiful scenery. Band concerts are held every night at the Spring House, and a lot of times dances were held at the pavilion.
The hotel was built on spring water.
In an article in the Lewiston Evening Journal, there was a man named N.W. Benner who remembers the Yosemite, the first steamer boat that rode Lake Auburn. The Yosemite, along with other steamer boats, was a big attraction for the hotel.
The first steamboat piled on Lake Auburn was the Yosemite, a larger scale wheeler with 2 decks. It was a great day when the village people were given their first ride around on the lake on a real steamer. At that time, they were digging ditches and laying water pipes to supply Auburn with water, and we were given the chance to to land and expect the work.
The hotel ended tragically, however. The hotel was burnt down on January 30th, 1893. Like the Island Garden, nobody really knows what happened, but a lot of people blamed it on the caretaker of the hotel, John Mitchell. He was a habitual smoker, and he might have dropped ashes from his pipe on the floor. However, the idea was never proved, therefore the fire at the Lake Auburn Spring House is still a mystery. The Grand View Hotel was a lesser-known but still historical hotel that resided in Auburn. It started in the home of Samuel Jenkins, who remodeled his house to accommodate guests in 1880. The renovation was finished in 1881, and the Grand View Hotel officially opened in 1882 with a man named S.E. Brown as manager. The Grandview Hotel was located in West Auburn. It was across from the James Monroe residence, which was later replaced with the Audrey Prentice house. The Grandview Hotel had various things that were considered fancy or high-tech for its time. Some of these things were gas, electric bells, and bathrooms, which many hotels didn't have at the time. One of their most popular attractions, however, was their spring, which was supposed to have beneficial effects, and the hotel was referred to as a sanatorium. As the hotel grew older, less people came to visit the hotel, and in 1905 it was bought by some local Boston businessmen. It remained a hotel until 1908, when a man named Professor Jewell took over the building to rent something called a rest home, which was like a retirement home. However, Jewell got no business, and the rest home was shortly lived. The building was then unoccupied, and it was turned down May 4th, 1918. Lake Grove Hotel was constructed in 1905 in East Auburn. It was built for Frank Monroe and his son-in-law, Warren Rideout, who operated the hotel. Like the Grand View Hotel, it was lesser known. It had 16 rooms along with a dining room. The cook's specialty was seafood. The hotel was more popular in the summer, and many guests were from out of state, mainly Massachusetts. According to the Lewiston Journal, it was Lewiston, Auburn's turn-of-the-century big hotel. Like many other places in Auburn, Lake Grove Hotel was a huge place for attractions. They had many things including fishing, stage shows, boat rides, bowling, horseshoe, croquet, theater, ice skating, skating rink, and there was a restaurant. The theater was absolutely free to get in, and it would project motion picture lights while using painted or printed images on the glass on the side of the screen. In the 1920s, these were replaced with silent movies. Rollway, which was the name of Lake Grove's roller rink, was named Maine's finest roller skating rink in 1906, which attracted even more people.
The restaurant served up the requisite shore dinner. An open-air theater hosted melodramas, vaudeville acts, and musical groups like the Powder Puff Revue with the Baby Vamp Chorus.
The unnamed restaurant was where the hotel would have some of its stage shows.
Lake Grove was more than just an attraction. Lake Grove was a population center that not only boasted its own tiny knit residency, but as was discovered today, published its own newspaper, Lake Grove News.
The Lake Grove News vowed to stay away from politics, and instead they had humorous stories and featured news stories along with local news. In 1927, the Auburn Water District bought the hotel and unfortunately closed it to the public. The Rideout family then occupied the space until 1949 when Orrin Rideout died. After, the space became unoccupied for good. If the Lake Auburn Spring House still existed, more people would probably come to Auburn. During the time that the Spring House was still around, people would come from other states just to come stay at the hotel, mainly Massachusetts and New York. Auburn would be a more well-known place, and it would have been more of an attraction. So would the other hotels, although those would still be attractions, but maybe not as big as the Spring House. The Spring House would probably evolve over time, maybe even have a pool. Auburn would be more of a vacation spot over the summer, and maybe as big as a spot as other places in more southern Maine, such as Wells, Kennebunk, York, and Portland. Along with the hotel, some other things could grow around it, like maybe some restaurants and small grocery stores, sort of like a downtown for Lake Auburn. Did you know about any of these hotels or attractions? What do you think Auburn would be like if some of these places still existed? These once huge attractions are forgotten. They are just some of the lost treasures of Auburn, Maine.